You know, when this race is actually not affected by weather and not delayed to a Sunday, it could be very, very fun and very, very fantastic. And very, very indeed wild. Super wild. NASCAR at Daytona just wrapped up. Coke Zero Sugar 400. And yeah, that's probably going to be a late upload, so you guys are probably going to be watching this on Sunday morning. My club, Arsenal, we won, so I'm very happy today. But yeah, we had one wild race, and it was chaotic, including flips, big crashes, big storylines, and a first-time winner, which is nothing new at Daytona, especially in modern-day racing. This was, this Daytona race, the Coke Zero Sugar 400. You probably thought they were racing for the Daytona 500. How aggressive it was. I did not see any differences between the Daytona 500 and this race, honestly, in terms of aggressiveness. This race was everything in terms of aggressiveness. And one massive sign of respect that I do want to talk about and make sure it does not get overlooked at the end of this race, because out of all the aggressiveness and everything that happened, including Kyle Busch wrecking, or causing one of the big wrecks, I think towards the end, a massive sign of respect towards the end. So we'll talk about all that, but I want to give a shout out to the Patreon members, first of all, for supporting the channel. Guys, if you want to help support the channel, Patreon is the best way to do it. Make sure you guys subscribe. Check the links in the description. Moza Racing for helping the channel as well. We're an affiliate partner. If you want your sim racing equipment, get it from Moza Racing. And now let's talk about this race. Heading into this race, I was looking at one major thing, honestly. I was looking at the regular season point standing. So I was looking at Larson, Reddick, Elliott, Hamlin, and at the end of the day, it didn't really make that big of a difference this race, which I thought it would, but it didn't. Elliott wrecks out early on. Reddick also caught up in wrecks. Larson had the best day out of everyone, got able to get some stage points, got caught up in the wrecks towards the end, and Denny Hamlin caught up in the same wreck, I think, as Chase Elliott. So all four of them ended up wrecked. All four of them, did not really move that much. Now, I don't have the regular season points in front of me, and this is one complaint I have with the coverage, is that throughout the entire race, I had no idea, like, the gaps between the regular season points. They don't update it on the TV broadcast. They don't update it on NASCAR's website. So, the race is over. I don't know what the gap is between. I would assume Reddick is still in the lead. I'm guessing Larson is closer, but I don't know at all what the regular season point standings are, and that's just my one complaint, is that I never know what they are. We're 2 races left, 15 playoff points on the line. I think there's also 8 playoff points and other playoff points for finishing second and third. And yeah, I have no idea where I could even find the regular season point standing. So that's a little bit annoying, but that was the one main storyline I was looking at for this race. And then obviously, who can make it to the playoffs. Now, before anyone starts, we all know winning you're in for drivers that are, not necessarily deserving, and we could all agree that Harrison Burton is not necessarily deserving of a playoff spot. He has not, the 21 team has not been great, but we're not going to be Debbie Downers tonight. We're not going to talk about that tonight. It's Daytona, okay? It's Daytona. There's first-time winners, and Daytona gives you the chance. You might not have the fastest car week in, week out, but Daytona and Talladega will give you the chance to, if you are a good enough plate racer, to go ahead and win. And under the current format, a win means you are in the playoffs. So I don't want to see, honestly, like, oh, well, you gave hate to Austin Dillon for doing it. Austin Dillon had to wreck 2 people intentionally at Richmond. And unfortunately for Austin Dillon, he also got a very bad caution break with 3 laps to go at Richmond, where if that never happened, he would have been in the playoffs. So Daytona's Daytona. We'll talk about winning you're in another day. I don't want to talk about that. The point is, Harrison Burton wins tonight, and it was a fantastic race by him. It required a lot of luck. Listen, a lot of the guys that were leading or fighting for the lead or battling up front, all of them basically were caught up in wrecks. Even the guys that were racing for the win there towards the end were the ones that were spinning people out accidentally. This was the epitome of modern day NASCAR racing at Daytona and Talladega. It is a little bit too much for my liking, but I don't know if there is a way to change it. And I think there's a few reasons for that. The drafting package and the amount of drag that this car has naturally, I don't think there's any way you can really change the amount of drag that this car has. If you look at these wrecks that have happened tonight, it's not just the guys that are pushing up to the lead. What you don't see is the pushing, 2, 3, 4 cars behind them. There's constant pushing, constant bump drafting, and because there's just so much energy, that's the right word. There's so much energy in the pack that when you are that 3rd, 4th, 5th car in line, you're probably checking up and your car is still most likely going forward. Like it is, unless you're actually in that car, it's really hard to kind of feel it and understand it. But the way the air moves around this car and the way the air moves in the entire pack, it more than ever before, more than any other race car before that NASCAR has had, Gen 4, Gen 5, Gen 6, the air really, forwards and backwards with these cars, it really contributes to basically interlocked bump drafting when you're going for the win. We saw stage 1 tonight was fantastic. NASCAR shortened stage 1 to 35 laps, so that way there wouldn't be fuel mileage. And when they're giving and taking and not going really all out, but they're racing hard, it's very fun. It's almost perfect, honestly. Like there's not really much you can complain about. It is beautiful racing. But they're giving each other space. They're giving each other room. When it comes to the end of these races, you are not giving anyone space. You are not giving anyone room. And you are just trying to make your line go faster. And 6, 7, 8 cars deep, they will be pushing. And the only way that doesn't happen is the drivers have to be like, oh, I'm not going to give it 100%. And they're not going to do that. Another thing, we saw, again, a flip. Well, we saw the Michael McDowell crash, where he almost flipped. Logano hit him in the door. And he basically almost went over. That took out a lot of good cars. That was because Austin Cindric was pushing. But even then, people are going to blame Austin Cindric. Austin Cindric at the time that he is, on the back bumper of McDowell, Jeff Burton made a very good point of this. You could see the flames coming out of the exhaust. That means he is off the throttle. He's not on the it's really like the momentum and the drag and the air. It's hard to predict that even if you lift, you're not, and if you touch the brakes, you don't want to really touch the brakes. So it's difficult really to manage your runs. And so I'm not going to really put blame on anyone tonight for a lot of those wrecks. I would say the one wreck that we could put a little bit of blame on, and listen, NASCAR Twitter is going crazy on this guy. We made a video earlier on this season about why everybody in NASCAR apparently hates Corey LaJoie, and he didn't do himself any favors tonight. That one was kind of bad. I know there was, I think Kyle Larson behind him was giving him a little bit of shoves, but I think there was like a 3 or 4 second period where LaJoie was not getting pushed from behind, and he just kept pushing the car in front. So yeah, that one looked the worst out of all of them, and he caused a pretty big wreck there. The first big one that Corey LaJoie caused that knocked out Hamlin. Hamlin took to Twitter right afterwards. I think he replied to Eric's tweet, actually, which was very funny, and just said, yeah, 7 caused it. So, everyone is going to keep jumping on the Corey LaJoie hate train. NASCAR Twitter is going crazy on it. So, and, the other wrecks, Kyle Busch, was I think, pushing, who was it? It was it Cindric? Yeah, I think it was Austin Cindric. I think it was Cindric that then went to Josh Berry. But even then, you could see Kyle Busch. I think what happens is, I don't think he got tight, but I think the air moved Busch's car up a little bit because you see him slide up coming out of turn 2. Christopher Bell's right on his back bumper. Whoever the heck is behind Christopher Bell is right on the back bumper of Christopher Bell. So again, all that energy, nobody is lifting at this time. You got to go. So Kyle Busch is in a very tough situation. He slid up a little bit, whether because he got tight or whether because of the air, and he's trying to come back down. And as he's trying to come back down, I think even if you ride on the onboard, you could hear the engine RPMs rev up as he gets the hit from behind from Bell, and there's nothing he can do. Again, when everyone is going like this, when everyone's going full throttle and the air and the manipulation of it, and everyone's so close, and the point is like that the bumpers don't align, unless you want to make a completely square rectangle front bumper with a completely square rectangle rear bumper and go back to 2-car tandem drafting where you could just do whatever the heck you want. I don't see really a way around, these wrecks. They're dangerous but it's very entertaining. And then you have to go to another reason why I think these kind of incidents happen is that you see wrecks like, Josh Berry tonight going over, flipping over, hitting the wall while upside down. That one's not very fun. But even he comes out of the car and he literally says, it probably didn't look as bad as, it wasn't as bad as it looked on TV, basically. That's what he said. Completely fine walking out of the car. And that's another thing, guys, these cars are so stupidly safe. They have been so stupidly safe for so very long now. Since the COT, the car tomorrow, these are the safest race cars in the world. You will not get me to believe you that there is a safer race car in the world. I'm talking in the world. I don't believe there's a safer race car than, COT, Gen 6, Gen 7. I honestly, these are the NASCAR has done an incredible job. And because they've done an incredible job, these wrecks are going to continue happening. These crashes are going to continue happening because the drivers feel safe. And when you feel safe, you are going to make moves that, you make it because you got to go for the win. And whatever the consequences are, if you crash, those will be the consequences. But the consequence is not really right at the moment major injury, broken arms, broken legs. That is not going to happen in this race car. They've crashed these cars left, right, up, down, upside down, heading the wall head on at 190, backwards, forwards, up and over, barrel rolling. I mean, they've crashed these cars in every way they possibly can, and they get out of there all the time. I'm not saying that you should take safety for granted, but it's going to contribute to how you race on the racetrack. And so these drivers feel safe, they feel invincible, and they're going to keep making these moves, and they're going to keep going for the race win. It's entertaining for us. It's entertaining for everyone watching, and even it's probably entertaining for the drivers as well until it gets a little bit scary at one point. But that's just the nature of plate racing, man. That is the nature of plate racing, and I don't think it is going to change anytime soon. Let me know if you guys like this style of plate racing, because I know a lot of you guys kind of like when it was a little bit more spread out. I'm talking like a long time ago though, because the Gen 6 had that bubble effect where no one could really get close to a back bumper of anyone. The leader had a bubble of air, and all you had to do was block the air. And everyone complained about that. So yeah, well, it's like, what do you want, man? I thought this race was fantastic. It was definitely scary, a lot of wrecks, but it was fantastic. And then yeah, the end of the race, after all the wrecks, all the crashes, all the chaos, you have guys that I didn't even know were racing, right? Honestly, I did not know Cody Ware was in this race. I'll be honest with you guys. He was running top 5 towards the end. You got Xfinity guys. What's his name again? I honestly, is it Rat? I want to say, why am I thinking of Jason Radcliffe, the crew chief? Why am I thinking of him? Parker Retzlaff is what I'm referring to. I mean, never really see him in the Cup Series. He's in the Xfinity Series every Saturday, but he's running 4th towards the end of this race. It is it's just survival. That's what these Daytona races are. But the end of this race, Kyle Busch. I'll be honest, guys. I was rooting for him. Let me know in the comments if you were rooting for him. I was rooting for Kyle Busch towards the end there. I was like, oh man, I want to see. Not just because I don't really care about the playoffs. It's not that. It's more about Kyle Busch has had one of the best careers of all time, and Daytona has never treated him nicely. I mean, we know, the 2008 Coke Zero Sugar 400 where Tony Stewart, he gets spun off the front bumper. Tony Stewart when trying to block. The many attempts at the Daytona 500 and not getting it done in the Daytona 500. Kyle Busch has not been the greatest plate racer, but Daytona has treated that man harshly. He has had fast race cars, and Daytona does not care. It has treated him very harshly. And he's towards the end of his career, and I would like to see him, definitely when the Daytona 500 comes around, guys, one of the main people for the last 2 years, honestly, that I've wanted to see win the Daytona 500, who's had a fast car, is Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch is definitely someone I want to see win the 500. I want to see him do well at Daytona. So he's leading at Daytona with 2 laps go. He's leading at Daytona, coming to the white flag. I'm like, all right, come on, Kyle, bring this thing home. And then in 1 and 2, he gets a 2-car length gap to the guys in 2nd and 3rd, and that's when I knew it was over. At that point, I was like, ah, damn it. Just the way the air worked, some of the side drafting, it got the 2 lanes behind Kyle to kind of check up, and Kyle got out there too far. Once he got out there too far, the reason why I knew it was over for Kyle at that moment, it was not because I thought he was going to get passed. It was because of the pushing. The pushing would have to be so aggressive. And it is a Toyota lined up with a Chevy. It's not that smooth front bumper of the Fords. So the Toyota lined up with the Chevy. I knew that it wasn't going to get locked on to push Kyle Busch forward. So, at that point coming out of turn 2, I was like, all right, I don't think Kyle Busch is winning this race. Harrison Burton gets just an amazing push from Parker, which is, again, like he does not race in the Cup Series on a regular basis, and to do that on the white flag is incredible. Honestly, fantastic push by him. Pushes Harrison Burton to the lead, and then Harrison falls down in front of Kyle Busch, and Kyle maybe gets one last run, and this is where I want to give the huge shout out to Kyle Busch, because Kyle Busch goes high, and then he tries going down low, and you can see on the onboard, he does, make a little bit of contact, and it sends Harrison Burton a little bit down the track. NASCAR is reviewing the finish towards the end. But Kyle Busch could have honestly turned harder left. He could have turned harder left, went all the way to the yellow line, and let Harrison Burton spin off the nose and say, "Yeah, I held my line" or something. Kyle Busch, honestly, he was safe there, and he did not wreck the guy. He had a run. If he would have turned hard enough to the left and go straight towards that yellow line, I think he could have, won this race, but it would have meant Harrison Burton just flying off of his nose, coming back across the track, a massive ass crash in the front stretch tri-oval. And so I really, maybe I'm over exaggerating or something, but even the way he was in the post race interview, it just seemed like a veteran of the sport who was racing back when it wasn't this chaotic, 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008. It wasn't like this. All the way up to like 2014, it wasn't as chaotic as this. And I just really appreciate and respect the veteran leadership that is Kyle Busch to, not, it sounds kind of bad to say not go 100%, but like he knew that there was a line and he didn't cross that line. And he could have easily just said like Harrison Burton spun off my front bumper. I just think he did a very good job, just kind of going for the win, but not putting anyone in danger. And so I just want to give a massive shout out to Kyle Busch for that, because I think a lot of other drivers would have, swerved that thing hard left and just held it, and just held it on that yellow line and just said, if you come across my nose, F you. And I don't think he did that. Harrison Burton pulled off some really good blocks as well, and Harrison Burton wins this race. Fantastic moment with Jeff Burton in the booth, with his mom in the pit box and his fiance as well. So, just really, really like great moment for Harrison Burton. He makes the playoffs again. We're not gonna listen. Does he deserve to be there? No, but let's not be a Debbie Downer. He's not going to do anything in the playoffs. We get that. Just let the guy enjoy his win, man. He doesn't have a ride for next season at the moment. It's his first career Cup win. It has nothing to do with playoffs. This race has nothing to do with playoffs, and that's why I want NASCAR to just get rid of winning you're in. You don't need it. You genuinely do not need it. Harrison Burton winning this race, it's about winning the race. It's about winning at Daytona. It's about winning your first Cup Series race. That's what it's about. It's not about this stupid crap of making the playoffs, because he's not going to do anything in the playoffs. It doesn't matter. Whatever. Who cares? For the teams it matters. The 21 team will make substantially more money now because they're going to be minimum 16th in owner and driver points. But like, you don't need that when you're in, man. You really don't. That's just my honest opinion. It is not necessary. It is just something that, I don't think it is. But congratulations to not Jeff Burton. Congratulations to Harrison Burton. And let's go look at the race results. I don't want this video going on too long, man, so I'm going to try to end this pretty quickly. Harrison Burton, Kyle Busch, Christopher Bell, Cody Ware, and Ty Gibbs. Cody Ware in the top 5, man. Jesus Christ. How did Bubba Wallace finish 6th? I'm just looking at this. Bubba Wallace was involved in wrecks. He ended up 6th. I don't have the championship standings in front of me. I gotta find that on. Did NASCAR update it? Please tell me NASCAR updated it. No, NASCAR didn't update it. All right. Well, I don't have the playoff, but the playoff standings have been changed because Harrison Burton won. So off the top of my head, I think there's a pretty big gap now between 16th and 17th. Whether it's Wallace, Chastain, Buscher's there. Gibbs is somewhere around there as well, but I don't have the points in front of me. Wallace in 6th, Parker Ratzliff in 7th, Brad Keselowski. Brad Keselowski gets a penalty for a restart violation with 16 to go. And the big one happens with Larson and McDowell and Cindric and all of them. So he avoids that wreck, and he obviously avoids the second wreck, and then he still ends up in the top 10. So a penalty where he's black flagged, 15 laps to go at Daytona, and he finishes in the top 10. Honestly, it's just, if I was a back marker, like if I was a true back marker, Cody Ware, Parker Ratzliff, not expect to do anything this race. But honestly, if I had one of the slowest cars in the field, I would just simply chill in last. I'd even go down 2 laps, 3 laps. I don't care. I'd chill on my own out of the draft the entire race and just know that I'm going to get lucky dogs. I'm going to get back on the lead lap. And if I just stay out of trouble, guaranteed top 15. It's just ridiculous, man. It's crazy how crazy these races are. Hemrick in ninth, Busher in 10th, hosts of R. Chastain, Smith, Briscoe, John Hunter Nemechek. John Hunter Nemechek leading towards the end, gets spun out as well. Just another bad, not a bad push, just the pushing can knock you sideways, knock you into another driver, you get spun out. So, unfortunate for John Hunter Nemechek. And the rest of the results, just a bunch of crashes and a bunch of wrecks and everything. Larson finished 21st, and he did get stage points. Reddick in 28th, did not get any stage points. Elliott, 36th, did not get any stage points. Denny Hamlin, 38th, did not get any stage points. So, without the regular season standings in front of me, Larson definitely had the better day, but I don't know how close he is to Tyler Reddick, as NASCAR has not updated it. I'm just trying to do math in my head. I'm looking at it right now. Tyler Reddick was 32 points ahead of Larson. Larson got a few stage points, and he finished 7 positions better. So I think he's somewhere around 20 behind, probably somewhere around there. Elliott would be, I think, like 16 or 17 behind. Denny Hamlin with the penalty is way further behind. So Reddick, Elliott, and Larson will get the playoff points. It just depends on who's going to win it. As long as Tyler Reddick has a good day at Darlington, he will be the regular season champion. But if he's running outside the top 10 and Elliott or Larson are having great days, like let's say Larson is winning both stages, that's 20 points right there. So it is still very possible for Larson or Elliott to win it, with Reddick needing to just run well. If he just runs well, he will be okay. So that's the regular season standings, and then the playoff picture as well will be something to look at as well. So guys, I will end it there. I'll try to get this video up for you guys as soon as possible. Just a wild night at Daytona. Luckily everyone is safe. I think everyone at the racetrack had a great time. No weather delay. Fantastic. Let me know what you guys thought of the race as well. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you guys tomorrow, Sunday, Monday. I don't even know. I don't know. This video is technically going up on Sundays. I don't know when I'll see you. I'll see you guys soon. Peace out.